Racers ready?
This Eliminator racing tip is brought to you by Coca-Cola.
To be a fast mountain bike racer, there are 3 aspects of body positioning that you can't ignore. One of them is putting yourself in an aerodynamic position where you put your chin right on the stem and slipstream down the course. Secondly is making your body the human shock absorber, where your elbows and legs absorb the shock to smooth things out. And finally, you make yourself like an Indy 500 car, where you're riding right on the back of the other guy and sprint around him as he's blocking the wind in front of you to take the victory.
We're set for the men's semifinals. Here's the way they match up. Jimmy Kite and Dave Cullinan will be the first pair. Bernard and Hossabisquet and Earthquake Jake Watson the second. Here's Cully and Kite, a pair of transplanted Californians.
These guys are best friends and training partners now. They're both living in Durango and also both have BMX backgrounds. And Cully getting out of there pretty fast.
Dave Cullinan, 5th fastest qualifier. Jimmy Kite, 8th fastest. They meet in the semifinals. Here they are with the inside leg down, looking for a little extra traction on this off-camber left-hand turn.
Both of these guys are the young bucks. Last year, Cullinan won the Kamikaze, but his name doesn't appear in the results because he was an expert. And Jimmy Kite last year was second in the national championship with Dave Cullinan a close third. So they've gone down the hill many times together.
Soft right-hand turn, getting a little bit chewed up now with all these runs that the riders have made. Dave Cullinan sticking with his game plan, riding from the front. Jimmy Kite shadowing him just a couple of bike lengths behind. They're still high up on the course.
And Jimmy seems content to go back there and stay in the draft of Cullinan. He ought to be making a move, though.
It looks more like a match sprint on the track. Whoa, look at this. Kite with an inside move on Cullinan. Cullinan was watching behind him, just trying to keep him on his hip, and Jimmy Kite is down.
He went off the course, and it looked like he just pitched it in a hole, and Cully right now is wondering what his best friend's up to.
Let's find out just exactly what happened here.
As you can see, Cullinan did not close the door. He didn't cut off Jimmy Kite. He just went off the course and stuck his front wheel in a rut, and obviously going down hard.
Me and Jimmy were going down. It's kind of like a cat and mouse game right now because you don't want to go out too hard, being it's going to be an endurance event. So we're going around a corner, and he was on the inside of me. He yelled inside, and I gave him some room, but I think he was so close that when I moved, he didn't see a hole, and he went over the bars pretty good. And
Well,
I wanted to stop because he's my best friend, but we were competitors right now, but I'm just worried about him.
Second half of the Final Four, 19-year-old Earthquake Jake Watson, 33-year-old Bernard and Hossabisquet.
Both of these guys are rookies, although one's 19 and Bernie's the semi-old man at 33. Bernard was third at the Kamikaze downhill earlier this year, and Jake has also been running really consistent. So although they're rookies, they're in the semifinals and hauling buns down the Kamikaze right now.
Bernie Yu getting the best of the drag race into that first off-camber left-hand turn, putting his leg down. Jake just coasts right on by him. Gravity working a little hard on that big body.
Downhill gravity definitely has 200 more pounds advantage there with big Earthquake Jake as they're flying down the straightaway right now. And Jake had said earlier he wanted to draft the other riders, and now we see it looks like they're chatting.
It looks like they've called a truce. We've seen this happen a little bit during the races. A lot of the riders recognizing that the upper part of the course doesn't really count for much. And why thrash yourself up there when the real race happens down on the part they call the freeway, where the real power game comes into play.
Ain't no holding hands through the speed trap. No way. This is warp speed area. And now as we're going into this off-camber, Jake taking it out in the front and Bernard sticking his leg down. You see how Jake keeps his feet in the pedals. Maybe this could be an advantage. And here comes Bernie.
Right around on the outside, showing the shortest distance between two turns is a straight line. Jake getting wide, maybe his weight carrying him a little bit hard outside that turn.
These guys are slicing and dicing. Oh! And Watson, man, buzzing the rear tire of Bernie. And now Bernard almost sticking big Jake into the giggly weeds.
A head shorter, nearly 60 pounds lighter. The important part, Bernard and Hossabisquet about 10 bike lengths in front of Jake Watson as they head into the finishing straight. And it looks like the little guy is going to get the best of this one by almost 7/10.
He's a lot stronger than me. He made a little bobble in one of the left-hand turns, not enabling me to get by. And I guess he couldn't get back by me. I figured he'd out-sprint me here, but it didn't happen.
So I had him up there on the turns, and I just took a little too wide. And he caught me on the inside, and he hit my best. You can't put down these older men.
I looked back and it went over like my body. Over the bars.
I did.
Dropped out. So I got to reach one of YouTube bananas, and I don't want to beat you because I practiced with you.
Number 2, Dave Cullinan gets a bye in his semifinal. Jimmy Kite broke his wrist in that crash, so one of these two men will meet Dave Cullinan in the final. Which one, we have yet to determine. The normally outspoken earthquake Jake Watson looking pretty serious. He has 0.7 of a second to make up on Bernie Yu.
Hopefully I got one more run in me.
Right on.
As these two mount the starting gate, the crowd really in anticipation of this semifinal. Often the best races in any kind of competition are the semis, just to decide who gets into the last race of the day.
Bernard was coming off that 3rd place at the Kamikaze this past summer, but Jake has never really been in the spotlight against these big boys.
Bernie Yu charging hard out of the gate, wants to ride from the front, let the big man draft him down. He has found a good line. Bernie Yu has been very careful and very controlled throughout his march into this semifinal round. Here they are in that soft left-hander.
And again, Bernard is hanging out the leg, and big Jake going in there with that weight of traction through the speed trap now, and they are close.
Bernard on Hassa Biscay once again with that foot down, getting the dab. Jake Watson just coasting through, takes a wide line through that turn. Now Jake gets his foot down. Whoa, that was close, Charlie.
That broke up his rhythm right there. I think that was the race, and Bernie can go on cruise control as Jake, if he was going to make the move, he was anticipating it there, and Bernard will get a shot at the $5,000 first place as he makes it to the final.
It's really unbelievable. I can't describe how I feel right now. I'm just thank the Lord that I'm here today, and I hope these legs have 2 good runs in them. That'd be lovely.
Bernie who? It's Bernie Yu in the finals with Cully.
The sport of mountain biking, if you haven't been able to tell, is pretty highly individualistic, but over the years, it has developed some very sophisticated support systems, and teams have become part of the scene. We visited with a couple to see what makes them tick.
You take whatever you want. I'm going to actually wait till you go.
The advantage of being a team would be that the pressure is kind of taken off just yourself. You know, you have the other guys that can go well too, and gives you a chance to relax a little bit and think about the race.
It is really like a fraternity kind of thing. It's rather than feeling like you're on your own and facing the event by yourself, you've got your friends, your teammates to kind of rationalize your fears with. You know, you can talk it over and say, well, this turn really scares me, or this course really scares me, and they can say, well, that's probably because, you know, you're taking it inside out rather than outside in, and that's a real advantage, you know, to be able to discuss it, discuss tactics.
Cat crashed because she fought me down. I felt horrible.
Hopefully he's okay. The sponsors help us by taking care of expenses, you know, whether it be accommodations or food.
Oh, being on a team, especially having teammates you downhill race with, helps you check out the lines together. And if you miss something, you know, the other rider can tell you, you know, where a better line is or something that's, you know, a bad part of the course that you can look out for. That helps a lot.